I said I wanna rock.
Are we gonna be goofing off like this every day?
We're not goofing off. We're creating musical fusion.
Wow. You're amazing, dude.
Thanks. I like to play.
I'm a small reporter from Rolling Stone magazine that's in town to do an exclusive interview with Michael Jackson.
I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
It is time for the Unsigned and Unhinged Meltdown.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Unsigned and Unhinged Meltdown, the very first one in a long time, because, you know, we were taking a break. But I have with us the very first ever inaugural winner for Band Madness Discrepancies.
What's up?
And we have Garrett with us, because sadly we couldn't get everybody. Schedules happen, you know how bands work.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. But I was introduced to you guys by a friend, and I fell in love with the music right away. I just gotta say, to be honest, I love what you guys do.
That's awesome, dude. I appreciate that for sure.
So, now how long have you guys been around as a band?
We started in early 2014. So I guess a little over 4 years now.
Okay. And you guys have the 2 CDs out right now?
Yeah, we got an EP, and we just released the full length. We used to have different members. We had a lineup change going into this second round, this second album.
Okay.
But otherwise, pretty much everything is the same. So
yeah, because you got, like, the current lineup is you got ATG on vocals, you're playing bass, and then Addison on guitar and Steve on drums.
Yep.
And I mean, how did it change going into this?
So when we originally started the band, I played drums because we couldn't find a drummer at the time. And so we had another guy playing bass, actually, and then Addison, of course, was on guitar, and we ended up recruiting Antonio because we couldn't find, like, a singer or, like, a screamer that we really liked, and, like, when we originally started the band, we were kind of going for more of, like, a metal or, like, metalcore aspect, maybe, than we ended up really doing, but we actually happened to run it. I met Antonio because I worked with him, and he sold me one of his mixtapes one day at work, and I listened to it, and it was actually, like, really solid. And so we were like, you know, maybe we should try doing something a little bit different that we all kind of enjoy and do, like, a rap rock mixture. And I think it's crazy now when we see people commenting, and they're like, oh, you guys wish you were Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park. And I think it's hilarious because it's like, when we started the band, we wanted to be like North Lane or something, you know, some kind of like prog metal. We never even wanted to do rap rock. It just happened because it worked out that way. So, well,
that's my favorite genre of metal is the new metal. I can just, you know, Limp Bizkit was great and all, but Linkin Park, that's where it hit home to me.
Yeah, I like Linkin Park a lot too.
Yeah, and it was very, very sad when Chester died. I can just say
absolutely.
It
I remember when I walked into work, my coworker was like, "Are you okay? I kind of thought you were gonna take the day off today." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be all right."
Yeah. So now the name Discrepancies, that's the name of the band. For those of you guys that weren't paying attention, how did you guys come up with that name?
So the name's kind of funny. I know all bands say this, so it's kind of cliche, but we are terrible at coming up with titles and names for things. And when it came to the band name, we threw around a lot of different ideas. And this was the one that we ultimately all kind of gravitated towards, I think, the most. And basically what the concept was with it was Addison was more into, like, pop rock and, like, metalcore. I was into, like, super hardcore music, anything hardcore punk, like the HXC scene, like, represent. And, like, Danny, our original bass player, was only into, like, death metal, brutal, like, grindcore stuff. And then Antonio was only into, like hip-hop and rap, and that was it. And, like, a little bit of R&B. So the concept was that none of that really, like, blends together well and works. And so, like, that's kind of where we got the band name, was, like, 4 different people coming from 4 different, completely different styles, somehow blending it together and making it work, even though in theory it shouldn't.
Yeah. So, and you've already said was that the only change was with the bass player and the, okay. And Steve has actually been in a few other bands before.
Correct.
Okay. So how did you guys all meet? Like, was it just like pure luck that you guys all came together? Or?
So since we started this band, and like since our first song we've ever released, we've always been big on burning demos and going to shows here in St. Louis and handing them out and whatnot. And we happened to have Steve at one of those shows, or we ran into Steve at one of those shows, I'm sorry. And we handed him a demo, and he listened to it in his car and was like, wow, this is actually really good, and like shot us a message on Facebook that was like, hey, I checked out your CD you guys handed me, and I really liked it. We were like, thanks, dude. And at that time, he was in a band called Soundtrap. Well, that band played a festival here in St. Louis that year, and shortly after, they all parted ways due to some, I think, internal conflict within the band. And at that time, Danny was kind of stepping away from our project, and when we started the band, Addison and I were both playing guitar, so I was like, I kind of would like to get back to a stringed instrument rather than playing drums. And going into writing The Awakening, I was like, the drum parts we've written for this are a lot harder than things I like normally play, and like it was very technical for me, and it was just difficult at the time. So I was like, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea now to recruit a drummer, and I can switch back to a string instrument, and I'll play bass, and I'll start learning how to do like slap and the finger picking and all that. And so we shot Steve a message, and it happened to be he had just left Soundtrap, and a couple other people had shot him messages about joining their projects, and he was like, I really like what you guys are doing, so we were like, why don't you come play a show or two, see if you like the music, and how we like, how we all work together, because I feel like that's really important in a band, is how bands actually like
how well you guys
mesh.
gel as a band.
Yeah, exactly. So so we brought him in, and it did really well. It's kind of the glue to our band. So
that's really cool. That's great, because you got to have the backbone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, the first song that we're gonna spin for everybody is "Raising the Bar," which you sent over to me. And it's not one of the first songs I heard. But I actually really like this, and I saw the video.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we were having a talk about that a little bit earlier on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because
we shot that.
It looked like Hijinks to me. I don't know if you guys ever played there.
Yeah, we played at Hijinks quite a few times. The way Pop's setup is actually not that different from Hijinks, but instead of it being like more like a tunnel, I guess, it's more like it goes super far wide more than it does go like straight out.
So the song "Raising the Bar," I mean, what was the writing process like for that with you guys, and is there a meaning behind it?
Antonio would probably elaborate better on the lyrics, but from what I understand, most of it being is basically the concept was we wanted to come in and do something that we kind of felt was different and new, and we wanted to really like define ourselves and define a sound, while at the same time still kind of like keeping the hope alive and keeping like positive messages in our music. So I feel like that's always been a big important thing for us, is like constantly pushing like equal rights for all people and this and that. And he kind of mentions that in the bridge of the song and whatnot. So
yeah, and it's a great song.
Yeah, and like the writing process for it, we kind of started off by writing the riffs. And then it kind of goes from there. When we write music in general, it tends to start with Addison and I on guitar, and then we kind of fill out the other instruments and send it to Antonio. He tells us he hates it, and we take it back and we start rewriting all over again. And eventually he gives us the seal of approval, and then he sends us some lyrics, and we tell him we hate it, and then he keeps rewriting until we give him the seal of approval. That's pretty much how it goes. So
you heard it here first on the Unsigned Unhinged Meltdown. That's how they do it. So, and now, Raise the Bar, that's on the newest full length, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I believe you can get that on iTunes. I know that it's on Spotify, because I have my Spotify playlist. But I believe it's on iTunes. Is it on like Amazon and all that stuff? Like,
yep, it's on everything. Amazon, Google, the whole 9 yards. Anything you can think of. It's on Pandora too, and all that stuff.
So, or you can just go to the show and buy a physical copy.
Definitely do that.
That's what I like to do. I have my collection of autographed CDs, so I definitely got to like find a way for that to happen. So I can have add that into my collection. So guys, check it out. This is Raising the Bar.
Switching my craft up. If you ain't got the substance, it's a must that you get passed up. Back up, gotta tell you that your math sucks. Rapping about the cash you do not have doesn't add up. Stop it, I'm not concerned about your profit. I'm gonna hit the booth, tell the truth, give them something to rock with. I'm penning our story, the beginning of glory. If you feel it like I feel it, put your hands up to the ceiling and witness the realest. We are who we are. We will live through these doors and we'll come back stronger than just remember one thing. We are who we are, and this is me, homie, like it or not. So no matter what it takes, I'ma fight for my spot. I grasp the essence of rap, and I'm taking it far. Yo, it really ain't hard to spot me. You can watch me, I'm just raising the bar. Blessed with the intellect, right to be respect. That's never been a best, but nevertheless, some people think I'm crazy and it just won't last. Well, I would rather walk down that psychopath. So please excuse this intrusion, but I choose bliss. I'm just a nuisance abusing my kung fu grip. You gotta hold on to hope, even if they complain, cause your dreams are your dreams. There's no reason to change. I'm just saying, we are who we are. We will live through these doors and we'll come back stronger than just remember one thing. We are who we are, and this is me, homie, like it or not. So no matter what it takes, I'ma fight for my spot. I grasp the essence of rap, and I'm taking it far. Yo, it really ain't hard to spot me. You can watch me, I'm just raising the bar. The possibilities will haunt you if you do not live through race. It will pull you under. The negativity will taunt you if you do not live through race. It will pull you under. You keep the demons hidden deep inside, but if you do not strive to rise, it will pull you under. I know it sucks and you seem to be stuck, but at the moment you give up, it will pull you under. Yeah. Not up to you to decide my fate, it's my future, that's what's at stake. I am Lucifer, having sex, but we're humans, we make mistakes. Whether you're black, gay, or straight, a person of any race, religion, or any faith, a victim of any hate, let them know that we will not break. We will live through these doors, and we'll come back stronger than just remember one thing. We are who we are, and this is me, homie, like it or not. So no matter what it takes, I'ma fight for my spot. I grasp the essence of rap, and I'm taking it far. Yo, it really ain't hard to spot me. You can watch me, I'm just raising the bar.
Alright guys, was Raising the Bar off their new full-length album. And I believe that came out like 3 weeks ago.
March 23rd. So,
Okay.
Just a few weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, they were the inaugural winner for Band Madness. How did you guys think about that? Like,
It was pretty cool.
Like, the whole reason I started the Band Madness thing is because it was the 1 year anniversary for the podcast. And I was going to do like a top 20 countdown thing for, bands. They're like, hey, let's do a top 20 countdown. Then I'm like, everybody's doing that. Let's do something where we can really get, the fans to interact. And then bands can be like, oh, we're going against this band. Who is this band? I've never heard of this band. And, just try doing that way so like bands can interact with other bands and, maybe network that way. Which is a way that I do my concerts as well. When I promote a show, I try to get 2 or 3 bands that are local, and I try and get an out of town band. So like, you can network that way. Like, example, there was a band that I brought down here from Milwaukee that's now been networking with bands in Kenosha. And been doing like that. So, or, I brought a band from Minnesota down, and they were networking with bands. So it's just, it gets you out there. And I kind of like that. So, but the biggest battle that you guys had, which was with my close personal friends, 3 Left, my God, like that was like almost 2,000 votes on that thing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Insane.
That was definitely crazy.
And then that was insane. And I was just like, I don't know what to say, because it was like a battle going back and forth.
Yeah, that was definitely a very very close battle. I would say, like, what didn't we end up voting? Didn't we only win by like 0.2% or something?
I don't remember. I think it was 52 to 48, something like that.
Oh, it wasn't.
I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit more. I don't know, or a little bit less. But then you guys finished off by kicking out Static Signal, which I love those guys as well. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to any of the bands that you guys had a chance to go up against, but
yeah, we try to listen to every single one of them. Static Signal we've known for quite a while. We have some mutual friends from when we played in Wisconsin before that have kind of showed us their stuff here and there.
Yeah,
they came through St. Louis, I don't think that long ago, maybe a couple months ago.
It's possible. You never know. I know Sean, who was the former lead singer of Fatal Havoc, is actually from St. Louis. And I was like, hey, dude, have you heard of these guys? And he was like, nope. I'm like, dude, you're from St. Louis, and these guys are pretty big. But all right. So anyway, getting back to things here, what would you say... now, this could be musically or non-musically. Are some of your biggest influences in life and in music?
Oh, man. I think what's weird about influences in general is I feel like influences for all people kind of change constantly, in my opinion. Like, I feel like I pull influences differently every day. Like, sometimes I'll really just... One of my favorite bands right now is a band called Architects, and I'll listen to them a whole bunch, and then I'll come home and I'll be super motivated, and I want to write a bunch of music, and then I write it, and then I'm like, oh, this is amazing, and then I like sleep on it. The next day I wake up and I'm like, this kind of sucks, and then like I'll kind of move to like another band, and I'll be like, oh, I really like this band right now, and then it'll get me super like amped up and in the mood and to like want to write music, and then I'll work on something else, and I'm like, this is kind of cool, and then same thing a day later I'm like, it kind of sucks. But like when I started playing music, to be completely honest, I picked up a guitar because I wanted to be able to play "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses, and
there's a classic name drop for you.
Right. Yeah, so I really wanted to be able to play that song specifically, and that was a band that I honestly thought that because of when I was born, I was never going to be able to see them play live, because like the last time they played in St. Louis before this time they just came through, there was like a riot in the amphitheater, and like people were like burning the place down. So I just thought they were never going to come back, and luckily this last year they came through, and I was able to catch them last July actually. So that was crazy. My child version of me was super excited. So that was a cool experience. But yeah, I mean, influences are hard. I know that like if you ask some of the other guys in the band, like Antonio's super influenced, by Tech Nine and like Lupe Fiasco and Nas and Tupac. He's big fans of those guys. Hobson.
Well, Tupac is just you can't go wrong with Tupac.
Right. Right.
I don't think the man done anything that was just like not good. Whether you're into that style of music or not.
Yeah, the introduction to our original EP actually was Tupac at a press conference where like the media was putting him on blast and basically saying that he was raising too much attention on these different issues, and he was basically trying to incite people to like riot basically and backlash against like the police and other people and stuff like that. And he basically was like, why is everybody coming after me now? This has been a problem for a long time. We should focus on solving the problems rather than targeting certain people. And that was like the introduction to our EP, because we really dug that speech, and like Antonio just draws such a major influence from him that it fit.
Yeah. What would you, okay, now your opinion on what is your opinion on social media and how it affects the local music industry or independent crowd? Like we're talking like, you got Facebook, which is obviously a huge one. You got Twitter, and then you got Reverb Nation and things like that. I mean, what would you say is like your opinion on that? Is it negative, or you think it's more of a positive influence for other people out there?
I think in today's industry, money is less of a factor. I mean, it's I take that back. It's more of a factor, but it's just less available now more than ever. I feel like that's the best way I could word that. And so, like, any avenue that you can take advantage of to get people to just hear your music, to actually come out to a show so that you can actually try to turn that into some type of revenue stream so that you can, do music full time, I think is incredible. So I think social media is good. I think that, the first time we found a site online where you could pirate a record, we thought that was crazy. Like, we were like, this is awesome. Like, that means that somebody liked the record so much that they bought it and then, or they pirated it somewhere else and then created a website for it so that you could pirate it from another website.
Oh,
like,
wow.
That's nuts, like, to me. So we were like, I was like, I don't think nobody's buying it and they're getting it for free. It's the fact that they took the time to do that with our music means that, like, there's a demand for it somewhere. Yeah. So that like, we were excited about that. And I know some musicians would be like, no, that's messed up. But,
yeah,
I mean, it's harder now than ever because there's so much noise. Like, the digital age is beautiful because everybody can make music. But the digital age is terrible because everybody can make music. So
yeah, exactly. So. Now, I know with being friends with as many bands as I've been friends with since doing this show, there's a way to find out where your music is actually being purchased from. Have you found out that you guys have like a large fan base like outside the country at all?
Oh, definitely. I think actually our number one demographic online. When our record came out 3 weeks ago, from that time till now, there was over 1.2 million streams, I think, of the record, and almost
half. Are you going to see Discrepancies open up for Rammstein in Germany? Is that a possibility?
That would be amazing. We actually have been watching some of our friend shows over there. So
oh, wow. I love Dead Horse Trauma. I had those guys on the show.
Super, super good people. But yeah, if we could get to the UK, that'd be amazing, especially Germany, because they listen to us a lot online.
Yeah. Now,
I know.
Speaking of shows and stuff, what would you say is your most memorable show that you guys have performed?
Ooh, I would say that may change this summer because this summer we're playing was probably my most memorable one. It's a radio festival here in St. Louis. We played. So. It's kind of a long story, but basically to elaborate, Korn was supposed to be headlining the festival. Jonathan Davis got sick the day of the show, which was a major bummer, and so everybody's set times got pushed back. And the way that it was originally set, we were going to be in the festival like while people were walking in, so by the time we would have been done playing, we probably would have played like maybe 2,000 people. But because of the way the set changes moved when Korn dropped, we ended up playing in like this awkward time of the day at like 4 p.m., and no other band was playing at that time. And there was like 4 stages. So like we were the only band that didn't have to compete against another band, and we got to play to like 20,000 people. It's crazy. It's like it was like one of our main pictures on our website that like you can just see people for like ever. It's like an endless sea. No, so that was crazy.
That seems like a highlight to have. What would you say? What would you say is your most embarrassing moment that you had on stage?
Oh, most embarrassing moment. You know what? Most embarrassing moment was after we started being a band. We played. We asked to play a cover show, and we played a Lincoln. Addison's mic wasn't like locked in, so it kept like rotating around, like chasing it while he was trying to play. And like there was like a couple songs where I played the wrong guitar, so it was like a half step out of tune from everybody else. So just terrible. It was like as bad as it could have gone. And the craziest part was when we got done, people were like, that was amazing. And we're like signing like...
Wow. So the next thing that we're going to play for everybody, this is actually a video. And this is the video that got me into Discrepancies, which is video. Because damn, I saw that and I was just like, me at the T-Rex. That's all I'm going to say. I was like, wait a minute. They put a T-Rex in the video.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
that was just like, oh, goodness gracious. And then, now, the guy that was in the other guy that was in the video, is that like a friend of yours, or?
Yeah, that's actually a childhood friend of Antonio's. They grew up together, and like they used to like battle rap at like the bus stop whenever 8 Mile came out. They were like friends, and they used to do all kinds of stuff. And honestly, before Antonio joined the band, that mixtape I was speaking about earlier, him and the other guy did a lot of different songs on there together.
Okay.
His name's Dub Flow. I don't think he's released anything of his own yet. But we did get him. We did talk him into coming on to the record and doing a song with us. He's just a crazy talented guy. Like, he doesn't do a whole lot by himself. Like, as far as like I think he just like raps for fun, but he doesn't like he doesn't pursue it.
He has a lot of talent. So hang on, we're gonna give a shout out to Dub Flow, dude. You need to put out a record. Just do it. I'll agree. Just do it.
Me too.
Just do it because it's Nike. Just do it anyway. But when I saw him come on. A video, and he's wearing like overalls and like a hoodie, and I'm like, is this supposed to be a joke? Is the other guy actually rapping and he's just like going over, and then they're fighting with nunchucks? It's like, oh god, the video is just great. And then,
I appreciate that.
And then you got the guy playing the pitchfork banjo, and
that was me.
Oh, you were playing the pitchfork?
Yeah, it's actually an Ethernet cable, too, I use for the strings.
Oh, God.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, there was the pitchfork, and then Steve's drum set, and then the banjo. I was like, oh, dear God. The video is great. So I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I did. Like, I'm assuming the video must have been even just as fun to make.
Yeah, it was a hectic couple of days. We did it over 2 days, and, like, we had done so many very serious videos before then that all had like these super deep, complex stories, and like we had just came off of "Wake Up and Prevail," which is also on the same record, and that song, those two songs, are like heavily confronting, the attack on our democratic government and like racism and this and that. So we thought, coming out of that, we should really try to focus on something fun and exciting. So we all just threw a bunch of ideas on a chalkboard, and we were like, all right, what do we want to do? And then one day we were like, why don't we just do all of them? So
why don't we just
pretty much did.
Just throw a T-Rex in the video and be good. All right, guys, so check it out. This is the video for Rock the Show.
And a can full of gas is about to go down. Mix up the tunes and infuse them with fumes. Now that's how you rock the crowd. Level up prestige, now enhance the pliers. Got a grip on the game so they can't deny us. On your feet, let me see you put your hands up higher. Feel the heat coming off of that amplifier. Come through and hit the stage like a seek and destroy. Hitting punches like a modern day Beastie Boy. So one more time, I need all of y'all to get hype and fight for the right to party all damn night. Special delivery, you got mail. I came to spit flames and I will not fail. Amped up as hell, you can tell from the shot trail. Red Bull, Cold Cock, Molotov, cocktail. Get a ticket and can witness these wicked bizarre tendencies straight from the heart. Pumping to give him my bars, energy stretching his heart. Because aggressive, it's artillery, repping the arch. Record that makes you the arch enemy. Rejecting these lames, rejecting your dames. The best when we flex through these flames. Wow, step in the game and wreck 'em with brains. The rest of you check out the aim. Now we rock, we roll, we rock the show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot non-stop. We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot non-stop.
Don't stop when you cold cock. Pirates on big team, just stick you up in your whiskey with a flintlock. Can full of kerosene, pocket full of flint rocks. How you get the club hot? The roof is on fire. Like the mic in the booth, it moves and swoops straight to the stage. And it hoops and loops and shoots out to the fans in the group. They boost the movie hoops, scooch, making sure I screws or loose my dude cuckoo. I ain't saying it all, but I'm pretend for y'all until I'm in a padded wall. Soon as they all thought that it was safe to rap, I come back on the attack like I'm hip hop Jaws. Dun dun. Your whole squad better run, son. Dub spit, double the voltage of any stun gun. Old nuns cook close buns whenever my tongue runs. Stunned by the fact I'm immaculately dropping hot dumb. Voltron, born, blazing sword. Scorch a score when the scoreboard slashing the D to the discrepancies forevermore. Or every chord, every broken drum stick when the drums kick. You like that? Turn it up. Blow both of these speakers and have them burning up. Turn down for what? Learn from us. If you got two hands, it's your chance for a move.
We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot non-stop. We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot. Yeah. Now I'm back with a vengeance, back to attack this rapping Olympic strap with a backpack, back to the written, straight to the top of the map and back in an instant. This is rap intermission. This is what rapping is missing. Quality entertainment, facts and opinions. I'm talking to myself, you just happen to miss. Destruction, disaster, the damage is deep. We duck all the dust as we dash to the breed. Devastation and havoc, dispatch the police. Let them know that this man is dismantling beats. Please pay attention, this is the scene. He wants to lead, she wants to see. She wants to meet, but he won't agree. He wants to flee, but she wants to keep. They can't get enough, they loving our sound. Town tree rap, it's time to get loud. It's about time we run for the ground. Jump up and up and get down. Yeah, jump, jump, put your hands up. Every time we show up, they go nuts. Jump, jump, put your hands up and up and get down. We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot non-stop. We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot. We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot. We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot.
Non-stop! Perfect. Let's do one more, okay? Ready? 1, 2.
Shut the up!
All right, guys, we're back. I hope you paid attention to the T-Rex. The guy was really not peeing in the bushes. That was great, though. Like, I was like, dude, is that guy seriously pissing? I could not believe that. So, but anyway, we got Garrett here from Discrepancies. It's great, dude. I'm glad that you're giving me the time today.
Yeah, man, definitely. Well, thanks for having me on, dude. I appreciate it.
Dude, I had to have you guys on, especially after you won Band Madness. I mean,
were we the only band on there that wasn't from Wisconsin?
No, I had bands from all over the country. I even had a band from Canada, Keychain, which I don't know if you've heard of them. They're from Canada. They're God.
Yeah, I have. I think Nick Bell
guys.
showed me those guys.
Yeah, those guys are insane. Actually, American Overdose from Portland introduced me.
Oh, okay.
They introduced me to Keychain and Dead Horse Trauma. So that's how I heard about you guys. And I heard about you guys from another friend that's not actually in a band.
Oh, really?
He was like, dude, I heard these guys on Facebook. You need to check them out. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, these guys are good.
That's awesome. Thanks, dude.
No problem.
That's super rad.
So now we're getting into the portion of the show where it's just kind of has nothing to, well, it has stuff to do with music, but it really doesn't. So, okay. Now, what was the first concert that you ever attended in your lifetime?
Maroon 5. She Will Be Loved tour, right after that record came out.
Now, if
the first record they ever released that I still think to this day is one of the best records in pop music of all time.
My first concert I ever been to was AC/DC.
Nice.
That's a way to start things off. It was Ballbreaker tour, but you know, you got albums, you got bad albums. Anyway.
Yeah.
So what was the first album that you ever bought or was given to you?
Meteora by Linkin Park. That's the first one I ever owned, and I had a stereo and I could play and whatnot.
That is a great album to be your first album ever.
I agree.
No,
I agree. I owned. Go ahead.
The first album that I ever got, I was in elementary school, and I was trying to get with chicks, because dude, you gotta get with the chicks, right? And all the chicks were liking New Kids on the Block, so I had New Kids on the Block swag. You know, I went and got and I got for Christmas I got the New Kids on the Block tape. and I was just jamming that. And I was like, 10 years later, I was like, what was I thinking?
What you missed out on was the LFO record that gave the shout-out to New Kids on the Block. See, that's what was really popping in the late 90s.
It truly is. Like, I listen to everything from pop to rap to hip-hop to metal to new metal to heavy rock. I listen to everything.
Right on.
Even a little bit of country in there. Not too much, but just a little bit.
Yeah. Addison's a big country fan. I'm not a fan of, like, new country. I was a fan of, like, some of the older stuff, but I just can't really get into the new stuff. I feel like it's pop music that they're just calling country music. I would probably enjoy it more, but the fact that they gotta mask it behind, like, a different genre title, I think, well, I don't know. It's hard for me to get into it.
Yeah. Now we're gonna get into a little more, like, that doesn't have anything to do with music, but what was your probably favorite TV show as you were growing up as a child?
Rocket Power. 10 out of 10. Rocket Power probably tied with, like, Recess. I would say Recess.
Recess was a classic.
Like, see, I used to wake up to get ready for school. I watched Recess, and then I would watch, like, Jimmy Neutron and SpongeBob. And then the bus came, and then it would drop me back off after school, and I'd watch Rocket Power, and then I'd watch... I'm trying to think what else I used to watch. I used to watch all kinds of random cartoons. I used to watch Power Rangers on occasion, too. Like a super big Power Rangers fan.
See, when I was growing up, we had the good cartoons that they're starting to make into movies now, like Transformers.
Oh, okay.
G.I. Joe, Thundercats. Like me, I was a Voltron guy. I loved Voltron.
Yeah.
But
so
then,
you notice that Voltron gets a shout out in Rock the Show, then, right?
Oh yeah, dude, you got to. but I think, like, when I got older, it was God, what was it? Pinky and the Brain.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved Pinky and the Brain.
So, like, I used to watch... Transformers was, like, ending as I was, like, starting to really watch a lot of cartoons. So, like, I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't watch a ton. I really liked... this used to come on super late at night, but Kur's Cowardly Dog. You ever watched that before?
No, I don't think I ever have.
It's, like, a very creepy, eerie cartoon. It's very like
like
Twilight Zone meets it's like Twilight Zone meets Goosebumps, I would say. Like,
oh wow,
it was creepy.
Speaking of cartoons,
what's that?
It comes out this week. They're doing a crossover of my favorite TV show, which is Supernatural, with Scooby Doo.
What?
Supernatural Scooby Doo crossover.
Whoa!
And I am so excited about that. And
I haven't watched Supernatural since like season 7, I don't think.
Oh, you probably stopped when the Leviathan were around.
Yeah.
That was the worst season.
Was it?
Yeah. It got better after the Leviathan.
Okay. It was hard for me because they're like, there's this all-powerful thing that can kill and destroy everything, so we don't really stand a chance. I'm like, well, that's pointless.
Well, dude, you got to clean them. You got to clean them with that, whatever the heck it was. It was some kind of, like, floor cleaner stuff. I forgot what it was called.
Jeez, Louise.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, like Supernatural, Doctor Who, those are like my favorite. Now watch Walking Dead.
I stopped after they killed the governor. I kind of lost interest.
Dude,
it's one of those shows I used to love, and then I was like, eh.
My friend last night told me that they killed Coral. I was like, why did you tell me that? I haven't watched this season. And they're like, oh no. My bad.
They killed the son?
Yep, they killed Carl.
Oh my god.
Coral.
Right. All the memes and everything that I feel like was ever super popular about that show came in season 4 when they killed the governor. So it was like, after that season, like, I think, like, Sid still watches the show once in a while, but, like, he's the only person I really know that I think still watches that. Like, so now I'm a huge, like, Office fan. I watch The Office religiously.
The Office. I just my brothers like Parks and Recreation, so I just into that.
Parks and brand of The Office to me. it's not bad. Hilarious. I just think it's just funny.
Good times. So the next song that we're going to spin for everybody is... hang on, I got it in my notes. Where's my notes? There they are. Okay. So we're going to spin the song that you sent over to me, which was Not Alone. And different vibe compared to that you guys have that I have heard. So you want to give me a little background on this?
Yeah, this song, I was in college whenever I guess I was in college when I wrote the whole record, but I remember Addison texted me one day. It was like, it was like late, like a night almost, and I was playing Dark Souls because it just came out, and he was dude. I played the whole series. I love them all religiously. So, but anyway, sorry. He was like, "Hey, dude, I have this idea, and I'm just kind of like driving around right now, but like I really want to record it, and I have like a little recording thing. You can come over real quick." It's like, sweet. So he like plugged in, and we like messed around a little bit, and I remember he wrote the melody and like I was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Dude, this is gonna be like the song for us," and we were super stoked on it, and like we brought it into the studio, and it did really well. And since the release of the record, this song and Get Hype have both been the two by far biggest songs that have come off of the record. They basically by themselves did almost 500,000 plays alone.
Oh wow!
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks. So it's crazy, but yeah, I think that song is amazing. I remember when Antonio wrote the lyrics for it. It was one of those on the record that, like, I think it only took like maybe one revision before we were like, dude, this is amazing. Like, with Addison singing it and all the lyrics, this song it came together so easily, which I always makes me worried because I'm always afraid we're like missing something or actually sucks, but we're just in. But yeah. Right.
Yeah. So guys, check this out. This is Not Alone. Like we said, you can get it on Spotify, you can get it on Amazon, you can get it on iTunes, you can get it anywhere on digital. You can find it on YouTube. You know how YouTube does something everywhere. So check it out. Guys, check it out. This is Not That's a little different based from them. It really is, but I really enjoy that song. Even
Sure.
though it's not quite. It's just I think whatever Discrepancies does, they touch it and it turns to gold or turns to platinum. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like what? I mean, the album just came out 3 weeks ago in March. Like, what are the current projects that you're working on? I know you guys got the Warp Tour, which is the final Warp Tour dates you guys got.
We're playing a wee bit, but I think it's actually to like 4 shows.
Okay.
But we've been trying West Coast for a while. We've been nonstop getting requests to play out there. And the issue with touring, we play East Coast and like the Midwest and stuff like that. Drives aren't that brutal because like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
When you play the West Coast, there's no drive out there shorter than like 8 hours, 18 hours.
Yeah.
I think our first drive, the first day, is 21 hours. It's like, holy crap. So, wow, like we would love to get up to the West Coast, but we got to have like a string of dates lined up before we can actually do that. And then Lyman to do those few dates. The first dates in Denver, Colorado. We were like, this will finally be a chance to get out west a little bit more, and to those people that have been asking us to do it for so long.
So you guys are going to Salt Lake and Denver?
Nope, we aren't doing anything out there. We come back, we do St. Louis here, and then we do Kansas. And then we're setting up some dates. I think we're doing another day, but I don't think it's been announced just yet.
Yeah.
And then we're doing something in Kansas City that Friday. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good week of shows for us, and definitely stay busy. So.
And their music, which I hope you do. We're trying to make it happen for you guys. My Meltdown maniacs out there. I'm trying my best to make it happen for all y'all. I will keep you informed with that happening. So, a lot of people said, dude, I'd love to play shows with them that were involved in Band Madness. Like, 3 Left was like, dude, do a show with these guys. I know Fatal Havoc was talking about it. Amberstein's like, dude, we played a show already.
We played with them quite a bit. They actually are the first band that gave us a chance out in Wisconsin a few years back with extensive tour, and couldn't get anybody to play with us in Wisconsin, and they gave us a shot, and they played this bar that I don't think is even open in Milwaukee called the BBC.
No, I mean, there's a lot of good bars up in the Milwaukee area. So, what's in the line for the future for you guys?
One of our biggest goals is, and right now I think we're going to actually manage to do that. So currently we're trying to get in for a bigger band, struggling to get out to. Outside of that, Antonio released a new mixtape with his, just like as a rapper, as a side project. And then
I've seen some of that on YouTube.
Yeah,
he's
very,
really
very
talented.
Yeah. It's I think it's really good, but it's definitely like straight up just hip hop. There's no like rock at all. So if you're into the rock side of it, you'll be upset. But if you like lyricism and hip hop, you will definitely dig it.
Yeah. So now I gotta say, the one thing that you typically from hip hop artists is you end up seeing them representing their city in whichever way they can in their video. Which I know I can't remember which video it was for the life of me, but I know I saw a St. Louis Blues jersey. I swore I saw a Cardinals hat floating around somewhere, and when I saw the Cardinals hat, I immediately wanted to rip it off somebody's head and burn it, because I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a diehard Cubbies fan, and I always will be.
Oh my god, that's sad to hear. I don't know what to tell you.
We finally won a World Series. Give me a break.
That's true. You did win a World Series. You know what?
God.
I can't talk too much smack because Blues have never won the Stanley Cup ever, and like everybody here in St. Louis is still like a diehard St. Louis fan. I feel like half the time. So. Well,
for sports, I'm pretty much like almost all in Chicago and Wisconsin.
So you a Blackhawks fan too? Then
I'm a Blackhawks fan. I have a part of me that roots for the Devils. There's a long story with that. I root for, I just got into hockey like 5 years ago. But my first game I ever watched, it was Patrick Kane beating the crap out of 3 guys. I was like, dude, I like this guy. And, I'm a Cubbies fan. I root for the Bulls. And then when it comes to football, I'm way down south. I'm a diehard Tampa Bay fan.
Oh, okay.
I'm a diehard Tampa Bay fan.
Go ahead.
You guys lost your Rams though, so now what do you root for?
Well, so we don't have a basketball team either, but if I follow, I have teams that I like from each sport, but I don't think any of us are super huge sports fans. I think I follow hockey the most, and that would make me the biggest sports fan because I follow any sport at all in a band. But my sports teams are, for hockey, it's the Penguins and the Blues for hockey. If I go, I'm not hopping on the Golden Knight bandwagon for the NHL. I mean, I hope they win, to be honest, but just not my thing. For football, God, I don't even watch football, to be honest. I couldn't really give you a team. If there was a team I used to file back, I used to like the Chiefs, but that was probably 10-plus years ago, so I don't know.
When they had Joe Montana, right? No, they had that was 20 years ago, right?
20.
Jesus,
yeah.
I'm feeling old.
No, honestly, the only reason I even liked the Chiefs was because I got one of the NFL games, one of the old ones, 1994, and Chiefs were one of the best teams on the game. So I was like, oh, I like this team now.
Oh, man. I remember many, many moons ago, this was when St. Louis actually had a really, really, really good team. And it was one of the first years I played fantasy football.
Oh,
and, I sat there. I had already had Marshall Faulk on my team because I thought Marshall Faulk was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And my quarterback got hurt, and I can't remember who it was. And I'm looking for a new backup. And I'm looking at the stats and everything. I was like, who the hell is this Kurt Warner guy?
Yeah.
So I picked up Kurt Warner, and I had Isaac Bruce on my team already. And then I picked up Kurt Warner, and dude, I just went undefeated for the rest of the year after I picked up Kurt Warner. I was like, dude, best free agency pickup ever.
Is he still playing for the Cardinals now?
No, I think he's long retired, though. He is long retired. So, with that being said, I know you were talking about video games. So, what would you say is your favorite video game that you ever played in your entire lifetime?
Holy crap. That's a very difficult question. Can I give a top 5? I feel like that would be a lot.
Yeah, go ahead with the top 5. I'll give you my top 5 after your top 5.
Okay, top 5 would be... number 1 would be tied between Mega Man X or probably Pokemon Silver.
Okay.
That would be tied for number 1. For number 2, I liked almost all of the Dark Souls series, but I would probably say number 1 was my absolute favorite.
Okay.
Number 3 would be Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a game I'm playing right now, and it's the first game.
Game is so good.
Dude, it's the first game in a long time that I think, since probably the Dark Souls series, that I will get 100% completion on this game. It's probably the first game that I'll completely do all the collectibles and everything. Number 4 would be Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, definitely. And then number 5 would absolutely be forever World of Warcraft.
That is a list. Now mine, because I have a little bit of years on you, is going to be a little different. I would say tied for first is probably Fable and Mass Effect.
I like the third one.
I love the first one.
I don't think I've ever played the first one.
Fable and Mass Effect, the first Mass Effect, are probably tied for first.
Okay. See, I can't use Mass Effect because the ending of the trilogy was just so god awful to me that I just hate that game at this point.
What was up with having the fourth one? Seriously, what are you doing?
Andromeda?
Yeah, that's like a movie. It's no, stop.
And it was terrible. The game was just terrible.
Oh, I know.
It looked like it was made on a fucking toaster.
So I would say Fable and Mass Effect are tied for first. I would say probably The Last of Us is number 2. That game is so good.
I have yet to play it.
Dude, I broke 3 controllers playing that game.
Wow.
You nerds raged on that game, I'm telling you. I would say number 3 would probably be the very first Walking Dead Telltales. I love the Telltale games. I really do. And the first Walking Dead Telltale was absolutely amazing.
I played that, and I think they had a second one, didn't they?
They had 3 total.
I think I only played 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And man, I just don't think Telltales are for me. I tried it out.
Not for
I
everybody.
like the consequences, like everything that you did had a consequence to it, but
Yes.
I feel like I would rather have just like relaxed and just watched the show than I would try to recreate the story. You know what I mean? But like you said, everybody has their own thing.
And then I would say number 4 would be the very first Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
The very first one that came out. And then we're going to go back even further. My number 5 game is Galaga. Because I remember popping quarters into an arcade machine like crazy to play that game.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, Galaga.
Dude, it's hard to really make that list because like there's so many games that like while you were saying that I was thinking of like I love Time Crisis, which is still a current arcade game. I love all the Smash Bros. Smash Bros is a ton of fun. Project M, a lot of fun. It's like a spin-off Smash Bros.
Oh, dude, like even Killer Instinct. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Star Fox.
Mortal Kombat, Star Fox. Yeah, all those games.
Yeah. So, now the next, what's the next show that you guys coming up right now? So people like if they're in the area can check it out.
This coming Thursday, April 19th, we are playing in Cape Girardeau. And then Friday, we are playing in Ohio, Harrison, Ohio, at the Blue Note, and we're doing a couple dates with a Super Bob. So we'll be playing Ohio.
Guys are great. I love Super Bob.
So I think we're like trading off shows. So like Friday, we're headlining in Ohio, and then Saturday they're headlining in Illinois. So
okay. So with that being said, now this is the last question that we're going to ask. This is a very unhinged meltdown question. Because everybody that listens to the show knows that Frankie is a huge, massive wrestling fan.
Okay.
So we're going to say if a wrestler had came to you guys and said, hey, Discrepancies, I want a song of yours for an entrance song, what song would you hand them?
Oh, my God. That's hard, but probably Art of War. And the only reason I say that is because Antonio is a huge wrestling fan, and I wish he was here to answer that question, but he's a huge wrestling fan, and when we released the music video for Art of War, somebody took it and made a wrestling like montage on YouTube, and people legitimately thought that like WWE or WWF, I don't even know what series it's in anymore. That's how little I know about wrestling. I feel terrible.
They got the F out a while ago.
Okay.
So it's just Eno.
So yeah, but somebody took it and made it like people thought that it like WWE was actually like using our song for like the intros and like for showcases and stuff like that.
Well, that's awesome.
That was really hype. But yeah, people use it for like wrestling montages and like all these other things. And I was like, that would be awesome if anybody ever actually used that.
So your go is actually the song that we're going to play next, right?
There you go, Art of War. This next song is the one I would pick.
No, and this song was probably, I think it was the second song I heard by you guys was Art of War. And, oh, God, dude, seriously, I love this song. Really,
what was the first song you heard? Just out of curiosity.
Rock the Show was the first song I heard.
Okay.
Because we were talking about that with the T-Rex.
Yeah. I knew you said you loved it with the T-Rex. I didn't know it was like the first one you saw, though.
Yeah, it was the first one I heard. And then I was talking with Mikey from Fatal Havoc when we were playing Art of War. And Addison, I was like, dude, this guy's got a great voice. And I was like, awesome. Dude, he's wearing a Use Your Illusion shirt. And he's like, what? I'm like, dude, he's wearing a GNR shirt. Just look. I was like, dude, that was like the first thing I noticed about him. And then when we were watching the video, I was like, dude, look at that guy, man. He's kind of like a pretty boy. Like, no offense to him. If he ends up listening, I was like, dude, that's a face that you can market to sell to people.
Oh,
like,
yeah. And we definitely do.
Like, dude, he's a great looking guy. And I'm straight. No homo. Like, I'm Addison, I'm not hitting on you, man. I'm just saying. He's a good looking guy. You can market that face. I'm just saying.
We just did, we were just talking to somebody the other day, and they didn't know that Addison was in the band. And after we told them, they were like, I should have known that. There's always that one guy in the band that just has that look, and that's him. I'm like, yep, that's Addison. He's got the face.
because we were actually talking about, like, me and Mikey were talking about Discrepancies when we watched Art of War. I was like, you see Antonio, and there's like, okay, we got the big rap guy. Okay, great. And then you see Steve, and it's just like, well, he's just kind of hiding in the bush. It's okay. You don't need to worry about him. And then we saw you, and we're like, of course, there's always going to be that one guy with really long hair that sticks out like a sore thumb. And then we had the pretty boy with Addison. And I was just like, see, that's someone that you can take home to Mom and be like, Mom, I'm dating somebody in a band. Oh, God. And then she walks in the door with Addison. So here's the thing. If you guys are ever dating somebody and, you know, they're like, oh, dude, we need a cover-up. Just have Addison pretend that he's the boyfriend. And you guys will be in like Flynn.
Perfect.
So we're going to spin rock the show. But before we do that, I just want to give a few shout-outs on the show tonight. My first shout-out is to my really good friends, John and Katie. John and Katie Small, they've been helping me out a lot as of late with everything that's going on. John is also my co-host. That he got home a little late. So Jay Smalls and Katie, thank you for everything that you've done. Then we got to give a shout-out to my friend all the way out in Michigan, Brittany, the beautiful and gorgeous Brittany, who is... We're just going to make her laugh and smile. So if you can say anything to make Brittany laugh right now, go ahead.
Oh, God.
We got to make Brittany laugh and blush.
You just put me on the spot like that. Holy cow.
Yeah, we got to make her blush. I told her I was going to make her beet red.
Be red. Oh, my God. I don't know. I can't think of anything right now.
I can tell you.
How about the Blackhawks NHL score? There you go.
She's from Michigan.
Oh, dang. Okay. I don't know. I don't have anything.
We have nothing.
Sorry.
We have nothing. I'm sorry, Brittany. I epic failed you. I do apologize. Wait a minute. I got to think of something. What can I do?
You had to give me a heads up. I could have thought of something, maybe.
Okay. Hey, heads up, dude. We got to embarrass this girl. I'm giving the heads up right now. We got to embarrass her.
That's not how that works, though. That's what...
I don't know. I'm lost. Epic fail. I failed you as a friend, Brittany. I'm sorry.
That's right.
She'll
probably think it's funny. Us trying to figure out something will probably be funny in its own.
So, okay. Any shout-outs that you want to give to your Discrepancy fans out there?
Thank you all for listening and coming to shows, because without you, we would be doing absolutely nothing. And big shout-out to Nick Moore, Priscilla Roonian, all the guys in the band, of course, that didn't get on the podcast with me today because they have other things that are more important, right? So. Well,
yeah, Addison is being a wingman right now for Steve. So
you know what? That's very, very likely. Very, very likely.
Dude, I got to talk to Addison one of these nights. I'll just say, because like as much.
Yeah, man. If you get us up there in October, you'll get to see that in real life, especially Addison being a wingman for Steve, because that is a real thing. So.
Oh my gosh, I just put Steve on blast. Steve, I apologize. And please, Lord, I apologize. And please be with the starving pygmies down there in India. Anybody remembers that? Was that Larry the Cable Guy? I think it was. So, guys, that's it for the Unsigned and Unhinged Meltdown. I am Frankie. This is Garrett from Discrepancies.
Yeah.
And right now, you're going to see the video for Art of War. So check it out.
But it didn't
innocent, cause I was injured and you made your decision and you left me with the intelligence your heart wasn't in it. You had to change your heart, that's terrific. You asked me what's the difference, easy. When I said I loved you, I fucking meant it. When you walked out and closed the door, did you find what you were looking for? Did he treat you better? Did he love you more? Did he fulfill all your fantasies? You wanna talk, let's talk. Was he more of a man than me? You here with me, so I didn't think so. But yo, you gotta go. Leave my place on the broken hearted. We try to pick it back up before we self-destruct. And it'll never be the same again. Come on. I know just what we've started. Coming to grips with the fact that if I take you back, it'll never be the same again.
This is madness!
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, vegetarian.
Oh, and this one time at band camp,
If it's too loud, you're too old.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
I am rock and roll!